Hey guys, it's Katie, Girl About Library, and I am taking you on an adventure with me today. Today I am going to Waco, Texas for a book sale. Exotic Waco, Texas, land of Joanna Gaines. Waco Public Library has a book sale, I think every year. It might be more than once every year. On Sundays, it's a $10 bag sale. So you can fill up a bag for $10, and that's the plan. I'm also super excited for this because I'm going to meet Jade of Bedtime Bookworm while I'm there, and that is going to be awesome. And it's been a while since I've seen her, so I'm super excited about that. And you're going to come with me. We're going to see how this book sale goes. I have no idea what to expect. It's been going on since Friday, so it might be kind of picked over, but it's still gonna be fun. Before I hit the road, I wanna get some food. I need to get a breakfast taco. I need to get something to drink so I'm hydrated. And I'm going to listen to an audiobook. I have been listening to Dread Nation. It's a YA zombie apocalypse dystopian type novel. I'm in an IRL book club, like we meet in person. It's wild. And this was actually my pick for that book club, and it was for last month, and I still haven't finished it. I'm the worst, and I need to finish it. So that is my listening plans for the trip, and I will check back in with you either when I get to Waco or when something interesting happens.
2 hours later.
Alright, I just pulled up. I'm in Waco, and I cannot believe it, but there's a line. Hey guys, it's a new day, and this book sale vlog just turned into a haul. I want to talk about the book sale for a minute and kind of give you like a review of how that went, and then we'll get into the books that I got at the book sale. I found out about this book sale from a website that I will link down below. It was about an hour and a half away from where I live. But it was totally worth it. It was a ton of fun, not only because they had a great selection, but also because I met another booktuber there, Jade. I will link her channel down below. And we just looked at books and chatted for hours. So great time. As far as selection, I would give this book sale 4 out of 5 book bags. This was the 3rd or 4th day of the book sale, and they still had so many books. I was really impressed with the selection of books that they still had and just the number of books. It was in the Extraco like event center building, and I mean it took up 2 rooms of the event center. Definitely a large selection to choose from. Granted, some of that selection was like 20 copies of the Da Vinci Code. They had a really good general fiction selection. I wouldn't say they had as good of a young adult fiction selection, but this was the last day of the book sale. So the selection for that area might have been better, probably was better the first day. The organization though was kind of a mixed bag. I'm somewhere between 2 and 3 book bags on that one. There was a separate section that they cornered off for like special editions and brand new hardcovers, but it wasn't really marked in any way, and the system was just kind of convoluted as far as like this area is $10 for a bag, but this area isn't, and there wasn't any signage to like let you know that. So that was a little confusing. But overall, the books were, I think, very well organized, especially considering how many books they had and how many people were like rifling and throwing them around. No one was throwing books around, but you know what I mean. Book sales get crazy. All right, let's get into the books. Haha, okay. So I got a total of 20 books. It's really hard for me to figure out exactly how much I spent because of the weird, like, some of the books were $10 for one bag and some of them weren't. So it's kind of hard to say exactly. I would say it comes out to about $1 a book. I'm gonna go through them kind of fast. Some of them I know something about them, but a lot of them it was just kind of like and you have a bag, it's 3/4 of the way full, and it's $10, whether it's 3/4 of the way full or like all the way full. So some of them I really don't know that much about, but please comment down below if you have read any of these. I would love to hear your thoughts on them. First up is The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. This book is in like really good condition. I'm impressed. I also picked up Kate Atkinson, A God in Ruins. I know nothing about this book, but I've heard good things about Kate Atkinson, so I thought I'd give it a shot. I also picked up The Real Lolita, The Kidnapping of Sally Horner and the Novel That Scandalized the World by Sarah Weinman. I have not read Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov, but true crime, always fascinating. And it says that this is the inspiration for the book. It was a 1948 abduction of 11-year-old Sally Horner. But it also says that it weaves together suspenseful crime narrative, cultural and social history, and literary investigation. That sounds awesome. I also picked up The Road to Character by David Brooks. I had a lot more nonfiction than I realized. This is about, okay. I don't know. Okay, so this book, it says, is in a response to a culture of the big me, which emphasizes external success, and Brooks challenges us and himself to rebalance the scales between our resume virtues, achieving wealth, fame, and status, and our eulogy virtues, those that exist at the core of our being, kindness, bravery, honesty, or faithfulness, focusing on what kind of relationships we have formed. This sounds really good. The Road to Character provides an opportunity for us to rethink our priorities and strive to build rich inner lives marked by humility and moral depth. I'm here for this, David. So, The Road to Character. Also nonfiction, I picked up Moonwalking with Einstein by Joshua Fowler. I've read another book by him that I really enjoyed, and it's been a while though, but this one is about memory, and usually this author like challenges himself to do something and then like journals out his experience challenging himself to do the thing. And this one is about the art and science of remembering everything. So it's gonna have a lot to do with memory, and I find that fascinating. It's kind of like pop psychology, like pop neuroscience, I guess. But I do really like his writing. It's really entertaining to read, so pick this one up. I also picked up Elena Ferrante's My Brilliant Friend, which is a book I've really been wanting to read, and thank you to Jade for finding this. She was seriously such a good book buddy and was like pointing out books. She was like, I feel like you have heard of this and need to read this. And it was super helpful. So thank you, Jade. I have not read anything by this author, but people seem to really be enjoying her. I believe this is historical fiction as well, so right up my alley. Very excited. Like, brand new copy. So props to this book sale. I picked up The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides. I have read another book by him. I believe he wrote Middlesex. Am I right? I hope I'm right. I think he did, and I really enjoyed that book, so I'm very excited to read this. I haven't seen the movie either, so I'll be able to read it and then watch the movie. It has startling immediacy and dark deadpan humor. Yes. I picked up My Cousin Rachel by Daphne du Maurier. Loved Rebecca. Very excited to read My Cousin Rachel. Also, a movie I haven't seen, so yay. Then I picked up The Road by Cormac McCarthy, which is a book that I have totally read, but I don't think I have a copy. I might have a copy, but I don't think that I do. So I picked up this copy because it's a book that I would like to reread. I haven't read it in probably 4 or 5 years, and I love it. It's such a deep story about the bond between a parent and their child, while also being like really spooky and scary at the same time, and it's a great time. If you haven't read this, I recommend it. I also picked up Flash Boys by Michael Lewis because the inside flap of it sounded really interesting. Flash Boys is about a small group of Wall Street guys who figure out that the US stock market has been rigged for the benefit of insiders, and that post-financial crisis, the markets have become not more free but less, and more controlled by the big Wall Street banks. It's about characters who have, not characters, but real people who have somehow preserved a moral sense in an environment where you don't get paid for that. This book sounds like it's going to be really informative because I genuinely don't know that much about how Wall Street works, but also really inspirational because they have maintained such a strong like moral center in the midst of that not necessarily being a strong point. So yeah, I also picked up the 12 Tribes of Hattie by Ayanna Mathis. I recognize the cover for this book, which I feel like is a strength of being so familiar with like Bookstagram and BookTube. When you go to big book sales, you're able to just like scan the books with your eyes and kind of get an idea of like, I have seen this book before, I've heard good things, and do it pretty quickly because you see book covers all of the time. I also picked up The Reader by Bernard Schlink. I think this is a book I started like years and years ago and never finished from the library because like part of the plot sounds really familiar. Then she disappears, but when she comes back into his life, he's a law student and she is on trial for a hideous crime. I believe it's like the Nuremberg trials. Like I think that she is in some way involved with concentration camps and she's being charged with those crimes. And so it's an international bestseller. It was a book of the year by the New York Times and Los Angeles Times. So I have a feeling it's going to be a challenging read and one that likely makes me pretty uncomfortable. It's also a movie I've been wanting to see, so picked it up. Then I picked up a book I know I'm going to love, and that is Theft by Finding by David Sedaris, and it's his diaries from 1977 through 2002. I know I'm going to really enjoy this. I love his short story collections, I love his nonfiction writing, and so this is gonna be enjoyable, but like, it's huge. This is a fat collection of his diaries. In his diaries, he's recorded everything that has captured his attention, overheard comments, salacious gossip, soap opera plot twists, and secrets confided by total strangers. It's the first of 2 volumes. I'm intrigued by this. I haven't heard that much about it, but I love his other books so much that this should at the very least be entertaining. But it's like really long. We'll see. I picked up A Spot of Bother by Mark Haddon. This is one that I have no idea what this book is about. The cover of it looked intriguing. I'm familiar with the author, although I haven't read his other book, A Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, but book sale choices. And now we're getting into some books where it was just like, they have an interesting cover, or I have no earthly reason why I chose these, but we're gonna give them a shot. This one is Southern Cross the Dog by Bill Ching. It's an arc, which there were actually quite a few arcs there, like mixed in with the books. It's historical fiction. It's set in Mississippi during Jim Crow. I liked the cover, so welcome to the family. I picked up Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. I have watched part of this movie, but then I stopped because I was like, no, I want to read the book. I'm a little worried that I already own a copy of this, but it was, I'm a little worried that I already have a copy of this, but it was in really good condition, so. I picked up Nightlight, a parody of Twilight. How could I not pick this up? I've been watching Chandler Ainsley and her boyfriend and the Dumb Book Club. I think that's what it's called. If it's not called that, I'm gonna need to edit that out. But I've been watching them like roast Twilight together and it's hilarious. If you have not watched that, I will link it down below. But it kind of got me in the mood for like some Twilight roasting. And then I saw this and it was like a natural choice. I picked up The Liars Club by Mary Karr. I have read this, but it's been a really long time and I really like her writing. She reminds me a lot of Jeanette Walls in The Glass Castle. I remember reading them kind of close together, but I don't actually remember like the plot of their lives. So I am going to be reading The Glass Castle this month and I'll probably read The Liars Club shortly thereafter because I kind of get in like a mood for those. I also picked up The Stolen Marriage by Diane Chamberlain, again, an advanced reader's copy. And I'm excited. I haven't read anything by Diane Chamberlain yet, so picked it up. And last but not least, Amanda Quick, The Girl Who Knew Too Much. I know absolutely nothing about this book, but it was little and fit in my bag very easily. And the back flap, like, totally pulled me in. It says, a leading man, a drowned actress. It's the Hollywood scandal of the decade, and only one reporter can break the story, but she has secrets of her own. And that's my book haul. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more bookish content. Thank you so much for watching and reading. Have a great day.